we get this head control, especially against guys with a good guard, that we have to focus first about controlling and keeping the position before anything else, okay? Because especially with flexible guys, sometimes you get here, you have the passing, but the guys find a way to hip escape, to create some space, and to bother you with a hook or anything else, okay? So one thing that I like to do to keep the side control is that I switch the position of my arms. I like to get this hand over the head and this other hand over the hips. And once I get here, I don't just use the arms, but I run a little bit closer to his head and a little bit farther from his legs to keep the situation, to keep the position here. Okay? So now, even if the guy tries to move his hips so much, I can use this arm here to push his legs and keep it away from my legs. Okay? So try to move there too, Pep. Look. It's a good position for control. Okay? And after we are able to establish the position, establish the side control and get the points, it's also a good position for attacking, for submitting straight from the side control. Okay? So one thing that I like to do, and now it's going also to depend on the position of the guys, on the guy's arm position. Okay? Normally the guy's arm is here, right in front of my neck. Okay? So he has some leverage to push, and this helps a little bit because I can use my elbow on top of his biceps and close my elbow down to control a little bit his arm, okay? So now I walk closer to his head, and now I'm going to use my wrist here to lift his elbow up, okay? And when I do that, I'm going to create some space to just use the palm of my hand on his chest. I just want to support the palm of my hand on his chest, okay? So I lift and I use the palm right here, as high as I can on his chest. At the same time, I keep closing my elbow down. Try to get your arm free from there, Tupe. If the guy starts to use his hand in this direction here, that he wants to turn his hand this way, just remember that you can use your head down to avoid it. Try. And that's it. He won't be able to work this arm anymore. Okay? This hand always as a support, and which is good from this control is that I can also control and take his back off the mat if I need, just by pulling his arm and his shoulder up. Alright? So, my first option here is going to be to lift my hips a little bit and get my knee on top of his arm. Okay? So now I block his other arm with my leg, and this left leg goes over his head. Okay? At some point, because I was lifting my hip, I was moving and everything, the guy might be able to get his hand here, which is not bad, because I can just now switch my grip for the Kimura grip and start attacking from here. Okay? The first option is going to be the Kimura, alright? It's important that in this position, I keep both of my knees together, close together, because I need his back off the mat to submit in this shoulder lock, okay? If the guy has this grip, I'm going to break the grip down this way, and then from here, I lift his hand up, push it for the back, and go for the submission. So again, I'm here, switch the hands, and just control. If the guy is still trying to move, you just control the position. Okay? Walk your hips closer to his head, and now this hand is going to lift his shoulder, his elbow, so I can place my hand on his chest. It's not hard to get here. Now remember to use your head also if you need to control it a little bit more. Lean and take his back from the mat. Once he does that, this elbow is going on the mat. Now lift your hips a little bit up and just make sure that you block his arm with your knee. This other leg goes behind his head and you close your knees together. Now, you can let the guy's hand go, switch for the grip here in the Kimura grip. If the guy has the grip, defending grip on his pants, this is the way that I'm going to get it free, okay? So I break this way, lift his hand. Why do we lift? Because if I try to go from here, the guy might make some grip, okay? And then I have to go again, lift, and go for the Kimura, all right? Elbow is on top of his shoulder. Even if I walk, it might be hard for me to get my hand on his chest, okay? So make sure that you have your elbow here on top of his arm. And not only that, close your elbow down, okay? Have this pressure. And then it's going to be easy. Look, lift his elbow and place the hand here on his chest, okay? Now the position is tight. Try to move there, Tupe. Okay? Now from here, this is really important. Before anything, lean and take his back off the mat. Even if I have to move this way, but I need to take his back off the mat. Try to avoid, try to resist, Tupe. Look. I need to take his back off the mat so I can place my knee behind his back. Now, the bottom arm. I'm going to place my knee, and I don't want, for example, to put my knee on top of his biceps. I want to place my knee on the mat so his arm is trapped between my foot and my knee. Okay? He has the arm free here. There's no weight on top of his arm, but at the same time it's trapped here. Okay? So just a little bit back here. Here. Take his back from the mat. Here. Now switch and make the Kimura grip. Keep the knees close together. If the guy is moving so much, just keep your knees close together and it's going to be harder for him to move. He has this grip. First break the grip and go for Kimura. There are a few important details here that we can't forget. The first one is to have his arm trapped. Okay? Always remember the hand on his chest because this is really important. Okay? Hand on the chest, close the elbow down, and make sure that he's not getting his arm anywhere. The second one, maybe the most important detail, he can't have his back on the mat. He needs to be on his side. Okay? So here I am, I take his back off the mat. I can get my knee there if I can. If I cannot, I can just, for example, take a step and open his knee up. But I need to be in this situation with a good control of this pressure between my knees. Okay? And then I go for the Kimura grip. Like I was telling to Mati and Tatu, there are many options for the guy to defend the Kimura grip. Okay? He can defend like Tupe did first on the leg. He can defend on the bottom leg, for example. He can defend on the belt or on the lapel. For us to break this grip, we have to understand where the gap in his grip is. For example, if he holds here, it's no reason for me to try to keep it pulling this way because I will be trying to force against the strength of his fingers. In this situation, the gap in his grip is here. So I have to pull it in this direction here. Okay? So just an example. If he's holding here, I have to break it this way, up. If he's holding in his leg like this, I have to pull it in this direction. So here, I have to pull it always against the gap of his grip. Okay? Many, many options. But let's say that we are here, we are in a really good situation, but we are stuck here because the guy is making a grip that I can't break for any reason. Okay? There is no reason for us to insist when we can change, especially if we are in a situation of a tournament, I'm losing the match, I need to submit it fast, the time is running. So what I like to do, if I get here but I get stuck, is that I'm going to lean a little bit to this side, this way, and I'm going to lift this knee up and place my foot on his hip. Okay? So I just do that. I lean, knee up, place the foot on his hip. Now all I have to do is to fall that way and stretch this leg. This leg here, as soon as I get to this position, it's not hard for me to hip escape a little bit, stretch, and get himself in a armbar situation. Alright? So I changed from the Kimura to the armbar. Just make sure that you find yourself in a comfortable position. You don't need to rush in this situation. And now we are going to keep the Kimura grip to break his defense in a way that I like a lot. Still with this grip here. Okay? I'm going to make it like this so Tupi can also see a little bit. You see this gap here between all the arms, this? It can exist. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my wrist as close as I can to his elbow. Okay? And this hand is coming up also as close as I can also to his elbow. And I will make the Kimura grip the same way. But now there is no gap between my hands and his forearm. Okay? What I'm going to do now, I'm going to keep the pressure, keep his elbow on my chest, and I'm going to use this hand to push it down, and not only down but also that way. So this is the pressure. Once he releases it, I can just stretch his arm and go for the armbar. Okay? So again, here, switch the arms, walk a little bit, here, control the guy's arm, take his back away from the mat, get the knee, sorry, here, switch the grip for the Kimura, but now I am in this situation where I can't break the guy's defense. Lift your knee, bend this way a little bit, and just place the foot on his hip. Stretch the other leg, fall down, and just stretch this leg enough to get yourself to this position. Okay? Now, no gap between my hands and his arm. This has to be really close from his elbow. This hand also the same, really close from his elbow. Pressure of the chest on the guy's elbow. I'm going to push this way at the same time that I push it down. So this way and this way. Here, here. The guy will have the pressure in his biceps, he will release and we attack the arm. Okay? You can do it like this. Just lift this knee up, but make sure that you lift it. Because if you try to go like this, the guy is going to fall on your leg. And you might leave it, it might be loose and you might lose the position. So here, if you have any difficulty, just lift this knee and then turn. Okay? From here, just by holding, Tupi won't be able to move much. So then I can just pass the leg over or even keep it here. It doesn't matter as long as you keep a good control. Okay? And here. And once I am in this position and I'm going to attack against his, how do I say? We call it block in Portuguese, but once I'm trying to break his grip to defend, it's important that I remember to make it as tight as possible, and I'm going to make this movement with both of my hands, okay, like this. So here, look. Alright? Once I make these two movements, it's going to be really tight against his biceps, and then, of course, I'm not going to do it to get the submission because this kind of, how do I say, this kind of submission, bicep submission is not allowed for lower belts, but here, stretch and go for the armbar, okay? Here, and the guy is avoiding it. Yeah. It's been hard. I can still get to this side. As more I go over his head, easier and better leverage I will have to pull his elbow up. Okay? And if the guy is really strong that I can, look, I can just place a hand here on his hip, and I will be using not only both of my arms, but also my upper body to fight against the strength of his arm. Try to avoid it. Look. Okay? So place the hand and lift like this. Okay? If the guy is fighting too much, if the guy is fighting too hard, that for any reason you can't go like this, you can change and get back and start attacking, for example, the knee on belly, because he won't be defending anything. So here, I get here, look, lift, you see?
Yeah.
Push the guy's hip and lift.
Okay.
Okay, and then you do the same. Place the hand on the chest, and you'll be able to do the same.
Okay.